Louisville Airport Fire Department, Fern Creek Fire Department, Pleasure Ridge Park Fire Department, Fairdale, Anchorage Middletown, Jeffersontown, Zoneton, Mount Washington, Nichols, Lebanon Junction, Southeast Bullitt, LaGrange, Simpsonville, Lexington Fire Department, Bardstown, and Shepherdsville Fire Department. In addition, extra foam to fight the fire came from the Lexington Airport, from CVG, and from Bardstown. In total, over 50 trucks responded. Again, a surge of resources to respond to a very significant explosion and fire. But what that does is it means that all of those available resources are pushed to the site. But through careful planning and through more efforts, we made sure we backfilled the departments that were at the scene. So we want to thank the following fire departments for backfilling to make sure that everyone else was protected during the surge of resources. We want to thank the Vine Grove Fire Department, West Point, Simpsonville, Shelby County. I want to thank other first responders that include the Kentucky National Guard, Kentucky Office of Homeland Security, Louisville EMA, the Airport Police Department, Louisville Metro Police Department, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office, St. Matthews Police Department, Shively Police Department, Kentucky State Police, Louisville Metro EMS, the Metro Sewer District, Louisville Gas and Electric, Kentucky Emergency Management, Kentucky Emergency Management Urban Search and Rescue Task Force 1, Kentucky ERC-ERT, the Jefferson County Emergency Management, the Jefferson County Coroner, the National Weather Service, the FBI, and there are more. There have been over 200 first responders that were on the scene last night, and there is a significant amount of resources in the search and rescue, and ultimately what is probably by now the recovery effort that is occurring. I want to thank everybody who was working overnight when it was dangerous, when there was other flammable or explosive materials, but they were searching to try to find any and all survivors and to locate any bodies to try to give families the closure that they deserve. At this time, we can confirm that there have been 9 fatalities, but I'm now fairly confident that that number will grow by at least 1. We hope it doesn't grow by too many more. I believe by this afternoon we'll have a pretty good grasp of both the number of fatalities and, if there are any, the number of missing persons that we're still looking for. Remember, there's a Victim Family Reunification Center at the Louisville Metro Police Training Academy, which remains open. That address is 2911 Taylor Boulevard. As of last night, there had been 16 different families there. I think the mayor's providing an update where that number may now have shrank. At least information I'm getting is those families may not line up with the hospital patients, which means we've got to continue to search that site, hope and pray for the best, but know there may be more loss of life that we're going to learn about today. 2 businesses were directly impacted: Kentucky Petroleum Recycling and Grade A Auto Parts. Thankfully, a local restaurant that is right there that we had great concern would be impacted and we would lose whoever was in it, was missed and now is helping the search and rescue. We're grateful for them. Another blessing is this plane could have potentially hit the major Ford factory or the convention center. Those are all close by and did not. The radius for the shelter in place has been significantly reduced. Louisville Metro is putting out guidance to residents and businesses immediately around the crash site to not consume water. EEC, the Energy and Environment Cabinet, is working closely with the city on this. Other areas are safe. Now, if you are in the suburbs, if you're in other parts of Louisville, you are as safe today as you've been any other day. The air is fine, your water is fine, but that immediately around the crash site, we're just trying to be very careful. In new news today, following yesterday's events, I'm declaring a state of emergency to help us deal with this plane crash. It allows us to move resources more quickly through emergency management and the Kentucky National Guard. It allows state resources to be used also through our agencies to be readily available, including disaster resource management, expenses related to response, and more, as well as reimbursement. It's going to help to make sure that groups that are already limited in terms of their funding can get some immediate or short-term help as they wait for reimbursement for the costs that they've expended. Additionally, I've taken action to establish the Team Kentucky Emergency Relief Fund to help those affected by this terrible event. The URL for this site is going to be on the screen. Similar to previous storm disaster funds, every dollar donated will go directly to those affected. In fact, what we've done is we've gone and amended the Team Kentucky Storm Relief Fund to now allow families impacted by a disaster like this to also benefit from the generosity of Kentuckians. Remember, the first thing that we pay for out of these funds are funerals, so that in a time of grief, nobody is worried about that. In Kentucky, we grieve together and we support one another. Donations will help pay for funerals and for response, recovery, and rebuilding. All right, while Kentucky is responding to this crisis in Louisville following yesterday's deadly plane crash, we must also remember the challenges that our families are facing due to a lack of SNAP benefits brought on by the Trump administration. This is a program that was under attack early.
All right, you've been listening to Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear talking about that plane crash last night. A UPS jet was taking off out of Louisville and crashed, as you've probably seen this video, in a horrific ball of flames. I want to bring in NBC's Adrian Broaddus near the scene in Louisville for us. Adrian, one of the headlines here, the governor confirming 9 fatalities and saying that number he's fairly confident will grow by at least 1 more person.
Yeah, he did say that, and we've seen that number grow throughout the day. When we first started this morning, 7 a.m. local time, the number was at 7. But the governor also telling us there was an extensive search and recovery effort underway throughout the night, and that's when that number went up. We know at least 11 others were injured, and we're also learning about some of the victims. At least 3 of them were crew members on that plane. And while this is catastrophic, that is one thing we do want to look at. As the NTSB leads this investigation, there will be a lot of questions as to how this happened, what happened. But the video that we've been playing for you and showing you really tells the story. That gives the investigators some clues. If you look at the video on the left side, near engine 1, which is on the left side, it appears that it is already on fire as that plane is at what's called takeoff speed. Now, you did hear the governor there just moments ago talk about this shelter in place, which has been reduced significantly. Initially, it was at a 5-mile radius. That's because you could see those huge plumes of smoke from miles away. He did say right now the warning is to not consume water if you are in the immediate area. He called this a catastrophic crash. Later today, he will survey the damage and will also give us another update. After that horrific news, we learned at least 9 people died, and that's a number the governor says may grow. The latest information he has is that at least 16 different families showed up at what's called the Reunification Center, still looking for people who they love. So there's still some people missing. The local hospital here said they treated at least 15 different people. About 13 of those patients have already been released. At least 2 of them are still in critical condition. So at this hour, the search and rescue is still underway. The investigation begins, and if you look behind me, you may hear and see planes. The runway here has been reopened. Kate?
Adrian, thank you so much. And it's worth noting that Governor Beshear said the NTSB, he believes, is on scene now, and they will be the lead in the investigation. Have we heard anything yet about what might have happened to that plane? What caused all of this?
You know what, that is the big question, Kate. We have not had that briefing yet from the NTSB, but there are so many questions. We talk about that video giving clues. Lots of people want to know, did anyone on board receive a warning? Did they know that the engine was on fire? Were they going too fast to the point where they were unable to stop? We don't know, but those are questions investigators will likely be trying to answer as they piece together what happened. Keep in mind, the NTSB is sending a team of nearly 20. As the governor mentioned, they're already here on site starting their investigation. But we've been talking about it. The government is shut down. So that means those folks leading this investigation, working to get those families answers, are not being paid, Kate.
Adrienne, thank you so much. We are going to wait for that press conference that you mentioned, Adrienne, that we expect to happen about 15 minutes from now. So stay with us if you want to see that. We'll be carrying that live as well. But for the moment, that concludes this live coverage of Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear updating on the deadly UPS cargo plane crash. Again, we may hear from the Kentucky governor again later today as well. More news ahead right here on NBC News Now, online at NBCNews.com, and a full wrap-up tonight, of course, on NBC Nightly News. I'm Kate Snow. Morning News Now continues.
George W. Bush did not come out verbally and really, speak against Trump's second term. He did things like he didn't shake Trump's hand at a funeral. But Cheney was very vocal, and he said, I'm voting for